Hello, my name is Katie Platt, and the UDL principle that I chose was Principle 1, providing multiple means of representation. And the website that I found that follows those principles very closely is called Actively Learn. Actively Learn is a website for 6 through 12 teachers and students of all subject areas, and it provides tons of different reading materials in a interactive format that creates a community out of reading and provides a more in-depth experience for students. And that's kind of their goal, is to make reading more meaningful for all students. So the URL, there's two different URLs kind of for the site. Activelylearn.com, this site here is their informational website. And then they also have read.activelylearn.com, which is the actual website that teachers and students will be using in the classroom. So, of course, before using any new educational tool, it's always a good idea to look up some reviews. I found this really cool review site called EdSurge, which is a review site for educational tools and activities. And all of the reviews are done by actual educators, and I thought that was really cool. So all of the reviews for this site are phenomenal. Pretty much everybody I found gave them 5 stars. They gave extensive reviews on the strengths and the usage in the classroom, and some people even found that it worked for lower grade levels as well, which is great. And even some people said, like, you can give suggestions for improvement, and there were some reviews that said that the website then went and made those improvements. So I think it's really cool that Actively Learn is actively trying to make their website better and better for both teachers and students. To join the website, it is absolutely free for just the general website. You can choose to upgrade and pay for a membership, which you'd get some upgraded features, which I'll show you in a minute, but all of the kind of general features are completely free for teachers. So I thought that was really cool, so I signed up. I got myself a account, and I just found there are just so many features for this website, and I thought that the best way to go through this would be just by going through their actual tutorial, because there are just so many features. So say I assigned this text here to my students. They would go onto their Actively Learn account and see that they were assigned it, and this would be what the assignment would look like. So here are some of the awesome things that teachers can do with this site. They can add notes on different parts of texts, and on these notes they can add comprehension questions if that's what they prefer, but you can also add links to different pages, you can add videos, you can add just understanding kind of footnote things, and students can actually reply to these things, and then teachers can then go back later and see all of the students' replies. Then you can also set up a discussion-like format on the readings as well, where you'll have questions where the whole class will answer. And so a student will submit their answer, and then they can go back and see all of the other teachers or all of the other students that commented on that question as well. So that's really cool. And then you can also take this cursor here, and students can define words, which is so cool. They can also click and have it audio played for them. They can have the whole text audio played for them. They can translate it, which is awesome as well. They can also then go and make a note about something. So say they didn't understand or they were like annotating, just like you would annotate. And students can submit that or answer questions or even highlight something and say they don't understand. And the teacher is then able to go and look at those parts that the students didn't understand and respond to them, which is so cool. So then you can also add questions to the reading. So just like you would do, post-reading or pre-reading questions, you can add them right in the reading. Students will choose their answer and submit it, and that even goes into another part of the site where they have a grade book, and it actually keeps track of that there. So that is so cool. So that's the student side. That's what the students see. And this is how you begin on the teacher's side of the site. So you'll create your class and invite your students. You can then go into the catalog of thousands of different pre-made interactive readings. And I mean, things from these articles here to Shakespeare. You can find pretty much anything on here. Some of them you do have to pay for, but most of them are free, and other teachers have already set up a lot of the interactive parts of these different reading pieces. So then you can add those pieces to your own workspace and then go and assign the pieces to the students, and it'll pop up in the students assigned homework file on their side of the website. So then you can also get into this book here or reading that you chose, and even though other teachers have already created the interactive portions, you can take out, change, add anything you want to the text, just kind of depending on what you as a teacher would like to do. You can also add your own texts into the website if they're not already created, and create your own, which is super cool as well. So then I wanted to show some of the kind of cool ways in which we can meet UDL Principle 1.3 and offer visual information. So these are just some of the pieces I added to my workplace. And so say I wanted my students to read The Raven. As we can see here, the interactive website already has an audio version to be played, another audio version. So that's meeting our 1.2 UDL principle there. And then we also have these little kind of footnotes here that are helping with clarification. We've got questions that the students can answer as a class. But if I wanted to add maybe some more visual learning to the piece, I could come down here, I just highlight this part here, insert a note. And my note could be perhaps, here is a raven saying nevermore. And I can add a YouTube video that students can then go and watch the raven say nevermore.
Waka waka waka. Say nevermore.
So that is the Actively Learn website. There are just so many cool things that teachers can do with it. Oh, and so to go back to the teacher side of this website, here is where I can have my students roster. This is where my assignments would go. Well, if I were to have assigned anything from my workspace, my grade book. Then this is the updated content. So you can have student activity, so you can see how much time students spent reading, all the questions they had, all the vocab lookups. And those vocab lookups can then be compiled into a vocab list, easy, and kind of show you how many words and the how many students had trouble with certain words. And then we also have reading proficiency, which they chart as well based on each student. There are just an endless amount of things that you can do with this website. There are literally thousands of different reading materials, and if you click on upper elementary, you can see that you can definitely go lower than 6th grade with a lot of these reading materials. Personally, how I would use this for a K through 12 classroom is I see it as a great at-home activity. Doing the reading at home, a lot of times students don't get that scaffolding because there's not a teacher there to help them along the way. I also thought this would be a great idea for book reports because instead of having students pick books and then give a book report at the end, you can actually just monitor their whole process throughout the book, their whole process reading and answering like comprehension questions the entire time. And then they won't have to give a book report at the end to prove that they did the reading because you will have been monitoring it the entire time. And I think that is just an awesome, awesome tool. And it can give students access to so many reading materials that they may never have been able to have access to before. So that is the Actively Learn website, and I am excited to use it, and I highly, highly recommend it.